What's up, nation? Good morning to you all. Y'all with y'all beautiful faces and everything. I really appreciate everyone for tuning in to the nation. This is the thing. We got to order some turnovers, some takeaways, fumbles, interceptions, you name it. Maybe a block kick, a block punt, however you want to call it. We need those things this Sunday, somehow, some way. So far, we got our back up against the wall. We saw that the filthy, they're winning now, and they look like they're on the right page. They look like they're turning things around, right? So we're going to have to figure out how to stay in that race. I do know that a lot of people would rather for us to lose out, because that's the only way that you can get like a supreme, one of the best quarterbacks that's out of this draft. You got to be like in the very bottom of the scale and things like that. But to me personally, I'm a diehard Cowboys fan, so I would rather for us to win every game we have a chance. And I look at it, it's like football is always a 50-50 chance if you can win in a game. And on top of that, the Jaguars, they're very stingy with their points. They don't allow you to score on them. I think from what I read here, is that they only giving up about 16 or 17 points. So, and we only scoring right in that region there, or a little bit below, I believe. I don't know for sure. Just hit me up with the stats a little bit later, or put those in the comment box down below. So we're going to have to figure this out. Also, before that, we do have an event this Saturday at 2 o'clock at Lava Cantina. I would love to see you guys out there. Normally, the tickets are average around $85 to $65 to go out there and meet these players. But what I can do for you guys, if you come out there, just say, hey, I'm with Law, use promo code LawNation. And they should let you guys in for not even close to those prices there. And what we're going to have out there, we're going to have Drew Pearson, Brice, Butler, not a woozy this weekend, but we will have Michael Gallup and Beasley. He's going to be out there. And trust me, when you speak to Drew Brees, I'm going to try to figure out a way where when you guys get there to the gate or what have you, just say, hey, I'm with Law, or have the attendant to say, hey, I'm with the Law Nation guy, and I can see if I can get you guys either a photo shot with Drew Pearson, and that's a legend guy who have a ring with the Cowboys. And you guys know, when you ask Uncle Drew a question, he don't fold up now. Just be prepared. He's not going to give you the sugar coating of an answer that you probably might not want to hear. He's real OG style. So I mean, he's going to tell you how it is. But moving a little bit forward, I will try to post that information in the description box. If not, just reach out to me at lawsnation@gmail.com, and we can talk about those things and those parameters. Or just click the description box, and there is a Cowboys Experience link that's in the description box that you guys can click on. And for those who are not able to make it, I would like for you guys to, after the video been posted or what have you, just leave me a comment of what you guys would like for me to ask Michael Gallup, or what you guys would like for me to ask Brice, Butler, Beasley, and as well as Drew Pearson, the original 88. So with that being said, this is the thing, guys. This team, we are like, I can say this right here. The fan base is divided. And it's not even like a 50-50 divide. It's more like a 70-30. Maybe I can say a 60-40 divide on the quarterback play, and whether or not. Now, I do know that it's more like a 80-20 split on the coaching. Only 20% of the people saying that, okay, we can keep Jason Garrett, and I believe over 80% saying, like, get rid of Jason Garrett. And it's one of those things where it's me. I always say this: Jason Garrett will be one hell of an offensive coordinator, and that's it, or one hell of a motivator, and that's it. As far as the head coaching, the experiment should be over with by now. I'm just telling you guys how I feel. And Scott Linehan, it's been grim for him. This guy been blessed with opportunities to draw plays for Dez Bryant, draw plays for Megatron, draw plays for Randy Moss, and he don't have no hardware to prove or show that this guy is able to win anything that goes off deep down into the playoff. That's just Scott Linehan. I don't know if he walked under the ladder, busted up a bunch of mirrors or stuff like that. I don't know. So it is what it is. Shout out time to thank y'all for tuning in to the early morning report. Josh Skinner, the first person to lay wood over here in the chat box. I appreciate you, man. Money Making Mall. What's up, man? Shout out to Eric too as well. Who else we have here? Boomer Sooner. Offense against Jaguars defense. Oh my God. This is the only way you can attack those guys. The perimeter, I think that they got a good box safety. Number 42, you guys know his name, Church. We're going to be on church. We're going to be at church on this Sunday, right? And then they got a Bouye, I think that's how you say his name. I'm a murderer of names. And then you have Jalen Ramsey on the outside. Gibson, he's good too. So we're in a pickle. I think that their linebackers can take out our tight end. So the only way we can win this game is going to be a grittish, grimish game. It may be a 9-6 score game. So the only way we can just do anything with this team is maybe you can hit them with a seam route, vertical upfield. Maybe you can exploit Church's ability to cover out in space. But outside of that, I don't see this team taking a slot guy and just taking him upfield vertically. So you will have to run the rock. It's a home game. The turf, the field, everything should be nice for you. The crowd, the noise, the enthusiasm of the fans. I think we'll still be 90,000+ strong out there. I think that the fans, if you can get the fans behind us and we can rally around and cause the defense to cause some turnovers. That's why I said in the title, can we order some turnovers, some takeaways? Can we order some? Put down in the chat box how many that you guys are willing to order there. You know, I want to order a quick order for 4 turnovers and takeaways. I want to order that, you know, and none for my quarterback. He's full. He don't need no turnovers, you know. That's what I want to order. Eric says confessions. I don't know. These are my confessions. You know, that's that Usher Raymond stuff. Law Nation, this is from Money Making Mall. Law Nation, we should have never let Wade Phillips go, basically. Look at it everywhere he's went. I agree. I agree with this factors right here. And I'm on record saying that I believe that Wade Phillips and Jason Garrett are just the same. Wade Phillips is not in those parameters of king of being an offensive guy, but the same as being in control. I feel that Wade Phillips should have been and always should have been and never been a head coach. He should always been like either positioning coach or a defensive coordinator, and that is exactly it. Nothing more or nothing less. Just those positionings right there. And Wade Phillips, he comes from a football background. He comes with the studious nature of his mind to coach up a defense, to help out a defense, to put players in right positionings, to understand a player's strength and weaknesses. But when you put in so much on his plate that he don't know what food to eat first, basically. And yeah, he's a big guy, but he don't know what food to eat when he had to be in control of the offense and be in control of the tight end situation and certain parameters of those things, and then also be able to talk in the media. That's not his strong suit. His strong suit would have been, hey, we strictly going to focus on the defense. And when we saw it, we call it Camp Cupcake. I mean, Wade is naturally a fluffy type of guy, but he can get furious at times, but he's just never going to hold those things all together as far as being a leader of man and things like that. And then on the flip side, Jerry Jones should know that Jason Garrett has the same type of pedigree. If I'm wrong, just let me know. Put that in the comment box. But hey, I don't know a lot of things. You guys know most of the things, right? I just know some things. Give Gallup some burn and try him in the slot as well as move him and Beasley on the outside. This is from Jeremy Shorter. Yeah, I would like to see Gallup in the inside. They only moving him out to the outside, and this is also what I would like to see as I got about 10 minutes more in this conversation with you guys in this morning. Is that I would like to see Gallup play every down. I do know that we with the notion to have the wide receiver by committee, that's cool. I'm not gonna lie, that's cool in a sense. But when we had that notion out there, and we had that mindset and that thought track of wide receiver by committee, you would at least have to have a bunch of twos, at least a bunch of two type of wide receivers. And when I said all off season, I said, okay, cool. Maybe Dak Prescott can spread the ball around better if he can just focus on just getting the ball to the open guy. But that philosophy would only work if you got some solid number twos. These guys that we have on our team now are anywhere around solid threes and fours. And I'm not talking about the inside guy, because the slot guy is a slot guy. And do you have any proof of that, Lawrence, or Law Nation, however you guys want to call me? Yes, I have proof of that. If you take Deontay Thompson, his career high is 23 catches, right? 23 catches in one season. That's his career high. I don't know if his total catches, it may be 23 at that too. So now you saying that he's going to be the focal point of your offense? No. Is this making excuses for these receivers? No. And then on top of that, if you sprinkle in Allen Hurns, was he the number 2 guy in Jacksonville Jaguars? No. Did I say that he was ever going to be a number 1 for the Cowboys? No. The thing is, Allen Hurns, when he played for the Jaguars, they had a guy named Allen Robinson, who was the number 1 threat. Then they had another guy named Marquez Lee. I think that's how you say his name. I think he was a big receiver, too, that they moved to the outside and flexed him in and out. And Allen Hurns were your inside guy. So Allen Hurns in his career, now, of course, he made the NFL top 100. He had a remarkable year, and he did a lot of things for them during that particular season. But Allen Hurns collectively, and I love his skill set, is an inside guy. He's a taller, physical slot guy, which that position is already held and hold down by number 11 on our team. So, and then Marquez Lee for the Jaguars, I think he's wearing number 11 too. So that's where I get that number from. And then let's look at the other receiver, Tavon Austin. You know for sure that he's the guy that we can utilize like the Lucky Whitehead, but have a better skill set, have a better pedigree. And what Tavon Austin is able to do is to motion him inside. He's never really played and hang out all the time on the outside. So he's a guy that you use your reverse sweeps, you use your motions and things of that nature. So that's the nature of our wide receivers. The only guy that we have as a solid number 2, he's not even on the team, he's on IR, who had his broken foot, and one can argue the fact that even in a pinch, catching the ball has been an issue with him. Shout out to KACJ for making the donation to help grow the nation. I really appreciate it. And also, Josh Skinner, thank you for making the donation to help grow the nation. Quincy Carter, this is from OG's Rollers, man. Appreciate you. Been following the channel for a long time. And Blue Star Coaching. Yeah, we're going to have to talk about coaching, too. I'm going to try to squeeze that into these time. He said Quincy Carter moved the ball better than this team. Well, let's look at everything from, and I like that question, OGs. Shout out to you, Roland. Let's look at it from a total, I'm talking about a total perspective. Who have a better coaching? And I'll sit and wait. And then also the targeting for Quincy Carter. I think that he had a guy named Antonio Bryant, who I can say that if you insert Antonio Bryant, of his nature and his skill set on his team, he will be the unequivocal. I messed up that word. He will be the other half of my coffee. Yeah, so guys, don't screw me. But he will be the outstanding number 1 receiver at this point. And then on top of that, you have a Terry Glenn. And one can argue the fact that he will blow any receiver out right now on his team out of the waters. Maybe the threat will be maybe Cole Beasley will give him a little threat there, but I don't know, man. Quincy Carter have better weapons, and then on top of that, you have a better tight end. We at this point of our luxurious Cowboys experience, we don't have a tight end that you can really say, okay, this is the starting tight end. Just as well as we rotate our receivers, we rotate the tight ends. I'm gonna go to this right here. Man, the time is moving away real quick. We saw, and I want you guys to have a chance to go back and look at this. We saw, and then of course I'm about to talk about a different team. Although we do need turnovers and takeaways to help us out, but we saw the New Orleans Saints, or the Orleans Saints, however you want to call them. They went 3 consecutive years 7-9, 7-9, 7-9. And you guys go back, if possible, help me out, look at the stats. Drew Brice was still launching that ball everywhere you can find down the field. But his problem is that they got rid of their tight end. So, and their defense was poor, as one can argue that. But you can imagine if we had a prolific passer of the ball and we go 7-9 3 years consecutively, and we will have these same issues of getting rid of the coach or getting rid of the said offensive coordinator, and we will have to figure out another way to help this team out. So it goes to show you guys that sometimes it just takes time. And of course, when they went 3 years consecutively, 7-9, that was after the post Super Bowl. So, but what happened was, in between that time, they got rid of their tight end play. The weapons on the outside was porous, and then they just had really one wide receiver that they can go to the ball. Running attack wasn't really there, but they still had a good, decent running back. So we can look at every parameters of teams that struggled, whether it be offensive, defensively, but you can look at it and cannot really just point one thing at one person. The team, in order for this team to win, we have to win through brilliant coaching and then also through everybody beating from the same drum, meaning that you can't point the blame at one person, basically. Shout out to Maurice. Thank you for tuning in. Let me see. OG said, yeah, true. Getting rid of Jimmy Graham really effed them up. And that was the great Drew Brees. So I'm saying all this, if we can go back to look at every team. And I'm not trying, look, trust me, guys, we're going to have to improve this team inch by inch. But maybe the world's worst play for the Cowboys during this offseason, maybe you can have a receiver by committee, but you got to have a solid tight end. Meaning that if we look at let's look at all of the prolific offenses going on right now. What do the Kansas City Chiefs have? Of course, they got a guy that can launch the ball down the field, but they do have a Travis Kelce, right? The Eagles that we saw last night, they had a Zach Ertz, guy making all plays. What are those guys? Look at their positioning. Tom Brady got Gronkowski, and all of these teams is really methodically moving the ball. And then even right now, the Saints got a Watson. Those are veteran, good tight ends that's in this league. And then on top of that, we can look at the Green Bay Packers. Although they lost last week, I'm thinking that they're going to bounce back this week. I think they lost last week, but they got a nice tight end. So what we're going to have to do is we're going to have to figure out a way to get a veteran tight end into this house, or we're going to have to groom a tight end that we know for sure that can fill in the X's and O's. All off season, I'm going to try to squeeze this in. Time is always my enemy. Whole off season, we talked about the core, and I talked about what I said was the second hardest position to learn in the National Football League. I said the center was the second hardest position, and then I said the third hardest position to learn is the tight end. Those two positionings right there, one can argue the fact that we are low, and although Looney is doing a hell of a good job for what he's doing with the weapons that he's surrounded with, the skill set that he's surrounded with, but we are seeing that rotating the tight end is not a good move for the Cowboys. And trust me, could the passes be a little bit better with Dak Prescott? Hell yeah, they could be a whole lot better. Shout out to Chops for making a donation to help grow the nation for $10, man. Just really appreciate you. Next time, put a question in there so I can marry that up with what you want to say. But thank you for making the donation in there. So with that being said, guys, we're going to have to figure out, okay, who is our tight end? Is it number 89 or is it number 87? Or are we still doing a 12 personnel, or are you going to sprinkle in number 80? I would rather for either this to happen. I would rather for this to happen right here. I would rather for them to keep Gallup in the game, take every rep that he can learn out there. And then on top of that, I would rather for them to keep either number 89 in if it's the whole time, full-time tight end, or number 87 or number 80 or number 80. You got to figure out who's going to be the tight end for the game. Right now, I think the targeting is high on number 87. So they're going to have to figure that out. And then Jameis Olawale. I would like for them to use Jameis Olawale a little bit more with the fullback situation, and then motion him out and use him as a into the flanker, or use him as a wide receiver to run up in those vertical seam routes. You can't catch the ball out of the backfield. Say prime time. What's good, man? Yes, it is at the top of the morning. I got to run. I got to roll out like dice, man. But I really appreciate all you guys for tuning in to the nation. Look, we got to order these turnovers. We got to do this thing one day of just dominating when we turn on the news cycle that we have a lot of turnovers right here. We got to get this thing going, baby. Yeah, that's all the time I have this morning. I really thank you for yours. And remember, you're listening to nothing but the best. Salute.